Hola amigos, ¿bien o no? Y saludos desde Medellín. Hoy el tema es, continuando desde el tema de ayer, no solo cómo o dónde puedo empezar nuestra nueva, como dice, nuestra nueva viaje a la fluidez, pero el tema de hoy es cuál es el segundo parte. ¿Cuál es el segundo parte? Ayer nosotros empezamos con, por ejemplo, nuestra rutina diaria. Es un buen punto para empezar, pero ¿cuál es el próximo? Ese es el tema de hoy. So, hello from Medellin. Another splendid evening. Thankfully, it's a bit warm today, but we've got a bit of a breeze at the moment, so it's cooling down nicely. But the theme of today follows on from our video of yesterday. So yesterday, you remember, we talked about, okay, if we're going to start our journey towards improving our language towards fluency, where and how do we do that? And my suggestion was start with your daily routine and work from there. So, okay, look at your daily routine, but what do we do next? How do we improve on that? That's the theme for today. And the short answer is find a book. Encontrar un libro. Find a book. Now, ideally, we need to look for a book in the new language that talks about something close to one of the topics you've picked up on your daily routine. That could be an aspect of your job, some other aspect of your daily routine, maybe you're traveling or some other thing you're interested in, one of your hobbies you do, perhaps something like that. It doesn't have to be an exact copy of all the dialogue you would normally use in these situations, but something that's going to contain a lot of useful words for you, because this is the important bit. So let me give you an example from how I did this. So when I started trying to really improve my Spanish properly, beyond just saying hello and buying things in the shops, I realized that the most important conversations I was having, effectively were my professional conversations, if you like, with my students. So now I had already some books in English on teaching classes, methodology, things like that, but I didn't want to read up on that particularly. What I decided to do was take a topic a little bit parallel to that on communication, improving communication. So I found a really good book on that. Now at the beginning, my Spanish was not in any way up to reading anything really that complicated in Spanish. So what I did, I read the book first in English. I found a copy of this book in English. It's very good. I read that. But then, having read it in English, I found the Spanish translation and I worked through that straight after. So that was a bit more challenging, but I did this for two reasons. The first one was for me to practice reading aloud. Now, as I said at the beginning, this was challenging. Lots of times I had to go back and reread pages several times. But as I improved, and along with a lot of the other listening practice I was doing on similar topics, but particularly the reading, this helped me improve my confidence a lot, because now I had something to say. All I have to do is read the lines from the book. I don't have to kind of make it up. I don't have to get stuck with, oh, what was that word I would use? I just need to read the lines from the book. So I started with that. So that was my second part of it, if you like. So I've begun with my daily routine. I've worked out what's my more essential conversations I generally have. I found a book that in some way at least parallel to a lot of the conversation I have, is relevant to it and contains lots of vocabulary that I can use in those conversations. I tried to find one that was at a level I could cope with. In the beginning I had to read it in English first and then find the translation, but once I got past that I was able to find other books on a similar topic in Spanish and work on that. Now, it's not to say that I've ever been able to translate these books. This is not true. But it has helped me a lot by practicing summarizing things I've read. Certainly practice my reading aloud, so it's helped me improve my confidence with how I sound. And I picked up a lot of useful vocabulary along the way. So that's the tip for today. Once you've established your daily routine, if you like, and where you're going to focus your learning on, which of those routines you do during the day are the more important or the more useful for you, find a book that speaks about that topic, or at least on a topic that's very close to that, so you have a lot of overlap with vocabulary. Get to work reading that book. Practice reading it aloud. See if you can summarize it. Work on that book, because that's going to include an awful lot of vocabulary you're going to need. And that's going to be able to feed back into the conversations or the dialogues you're preparing on that part of your routine. And I think you'll find that really helpful. So that's the idea for today. Déjame saber en los comentarios. But for now, from Regine, it's Cheerio.